Hey, Tuesday morning, April 18th, 2023. So, life in Ukraine. This past weekend I got engaged. That was kind of cool. Took Luda to the Cloud 7 restaurant in the center of Lviv. It's the closest thing they have to the Burj Al Khalifa here. You know, it's a rooftop restaurant in Roxolana. I mean, I think Panorama is a little bit higher, you know, but I don't know if it's outdoors. There's another steakhouse called Panorama. So, yeah, did it on a Orthodox Easter morning because we celebrated Easter, actually the Orthodox Easter, the night before, going to church and getting the water on the basket. And then the week before we went to the Baptist church and, you know, did the, you know, Western European American Easter. So, yeah, I'll just tell you, things in Ukraine here, they're a bit different. So, you know, I went for the left ring finger. We decided to do it American or European style, although in Norway they do right finger. But there's, like, in some countries they put the ring on the actually right index finger or right ring finger. But we decided to do it on the left finger. So that was pretty cool. And finally it's starting to warm up here. I mean, it just gets cold again, warm up. I hope it just doesn't snow again, you know, really over it, really over the winter. It was quite a long one. So yeah, that was the most eventful thing this weekend, you know, and it's been a lot of news about the, you know, the war, I guess. I don't know, it's just, you become deaf to it after a while. You know, people are like surprised now, like DHL doesn't work. A friend of mine was asking last night about DHL. And yeah, it doesn't work. You know, and so yeah, we have to, if you want to send overnight packages, you first have to go overnight to Poland if you really need it secure and sent. I'm really trying to find a way how to send things from Ukraine, like handmade goods, in an expedient and cost-efficient way. I mean, I'm not sure how well the local post works. I know I tried to send some Christmas cards and stuff, and a few of them came back, and other ones took like 3 months to reach the destination, and everything was handwritten really well. So it's that's still a problem. I don't know if there's a service that just takes things in batch to Poland and then puts it in Polish post, and there it can go anywhere in the world. You know, I imagine all the European postal systems are working pretty good. I know Norwegian Post works really well, but it costs a lot. It's you pay a lot to send a letter in Norway, but it does get where it's supposed to go. I don't think they've lost any mail in Norway in a long time. You know, it's not like the US where the mail ends up under someone's porch and they find stuff from 1952, you know, because the mailman decided he had enough and decided to just chuck the bag somewhere, you know, and then they find, like, you know, there's a lot of stories like that in America. So yeah, I'm trying to find this kind of logistical solution. The other thing that hasn't happened, and I remember last year talking to some aid workers, and they were saying, oh yeah, the Lviv airport's going to open up and all this. Nah, I think it would take a minimum of 3 months to reopen the airport if all hostilities ceased and they got a green light on the airspace and the airlines can get their insurance. That's what's, it's really decided by insurance companies where the airlines can fly, you know, because they have to buy insurance for those planes. So, you know, gain the confidence of the insurers like Lloyd's of London or whoever is selling insurance to the aircraft, you know. So yeah, we have to still do this bus, you know, to Warsaw, and then, you know, from Warsaw is like the, you know, crossroads for us. You know, it's like the Frankfurt, you know, it's the airport that can take you anywhere. And actually they do. I mean, this LOT Polish Airlines flies everywhere. They have Qatar Airlines that comes there, so from Qatar you can connect to Asia. LOT will take you to America. Granted, the food is not as good as Scandinavian or Lufthansa, but it's good enough. I mean, it's just 8 hours, you know, pack a sandwich, you know, knock yourself out, get some good movies on your phone and get a good book and try to sleep through the trip, you know, and then you're in America at like 2 in the afternoon or something like that. And then hopefully you're where you need to go by the end of the day. But yeah, it's still, I didn't even think about this till I talked to some friend last night, and he was just asking these questions like, if you were living here a year and a half ago, like, oh yeah, DHL, no problem. Getting a flight to Warsaw, 40 minutes, no problem. I mean, people used to even do day trips to Warsaw, as far as I remember. You go in the morning, come back in the evening, you know, type of thing, or just overnights. You know, it just depends how the flights were working. So, yeah, it's been, I don't know, I guess I'm used to everything here. You know, I'm going to continue the life here. You know, we decided to stay. This is our home. I still have the mentality that if you, we can't leave things behind, you know, because it makes it just easier for the Russians to come in. And that's what I want to say is, like, this is the time to move to Ukraine. I really sincerely believe that. I mean, if more people start moving here, you know, then we can push the Russians out. You know, this war is like really hard on both sides. But the West has to stay committed because it is working. Russia's getting ground down, and now they're having to draft all their men. And eventually when men from Moscow and St. Petersburg start coming back in boxes, you know, it might put the war to a quicker end as you start upsetting the upper middle class. I mean, Putin is not a monolith. He needs the support of, like, the Russian upper middle and, you know, wealthy class. And if their kids are getting drafted off, or they start losing a lot more business, who knows what could happen. I mean, he's pretty well insulated, and I mean, if you look at Russian history, they can take a lot of shit. I mean, they you know, they can chop their arm off to get through a fence hole and stuff like that. I mean, they, you know, look at the Battle of Stalingrad, and so it is a long slog. It's not easy, but it is going in the, you know, that's what has to happen. And I understand that they're having workforce issues. They've drafted so many people into the army that their companies and stuff are kind of seizing up, and they're having production issues. And so we have to keep that. That's how we won World War II. World War II was won by logistics. We just kept it coming. We just kept the trains of B-17s coming, just kept refilling the ammo, refilling the supplies. I mean, and we just, you know, we just beat the Germans. You know, I mean, the Germans actually, in some instances, had superior technology, but we just overwhelmed them. And in this case, the Russians have superior numbers, but the West has superior technology. So we have to, like I say, bring more people here and do all we can, pay into the economy. And hopefully these weapons are a force multiplier to, you know, deal with the Russians. Now, you can get them all concentrated into certain areas, and like I say, then, you know, one weapon can deal with, you know, thousands of Russians at one time. But I think, like I said, what will winning look like? This war won't finish until Putin is dead. So winning for Ukraine is like restoring everything to pre-2014. How long is that going to take? That's going to take time. That is just going to take a long time. And like I said, we have to wait till at least till Putin is dead too, because the Russians are throwing everything they got in the kitchen sink at getting that. And I mean, the numbers are all over the place, what the British say, the CIA says, what Ukraine claims. But let's say roughly Ukraine has, you know, liquidated 150,000 Russian foot soldiers and personnel in the last year. It's an impressive number. I mean, by any means, you know, for what they've done. I mean, the defense of Ukraine is so impressive. But if you look at the millions, right, the millions of people that Russia is going to throw into this war, this is going to go on for a long time. And it seems like the Russians are hell-bent on this, and the only hope outside of Putin dying is, like, the Chinese will tell the Russians we've had enough. So really, America, we really need to see America divorce itself from, you know, we have to, as people, divorce ourselves from fast fashion and cheap plastic things, and you know, electronics. You know, we have to keep using what we have and develop the technology indigenously and value what we have. You know, 20, 30 years ago, my mom used to sew the holes in my clothes, and now we just throw this stuff out and go to Walmart and buy a new bag. I mean, now this is the cost of that, right? We lose our freedom. We might have cheap stuff, but we lose our freedom. You know, it's better to repair what you have. It's even better for the environment. So really everything with Russia really hangs on China, right? I think when the Chinese have had enough, then the Russians may be forced to stop. That's their biggest support. And maybe we can hope, maybe the Chinese will see an opportunity to invade Eastern Russia, you know, that's always been a scenario. Tom Clancy wrote about it or something. I mean, that double cross could happen. You know, the consequences of China in this multipolar world is that they're going to miss out on a lot of innovation. You know, they're going to miss out on a lot. I mean, everyone's saying, yeah, China's innovative and stuff because they do stuff with cryptocurrency, but I work in the cryptocurrency business. It's a blockchain as a technology, and it's a good technology. But is it earth moving like email? Is it earth moving like the PC or the phone? You know, in daily life, in mainstream life, I haven't really seen much for it. I only see it in the gaming that we do, you know, and using, you know, building applications. It makes things more efficient with transactions. I mean, I would say AI is the technology. That's you know, I can write small letters, small descriptions. I just give some prompts, and it saves me like a couple hours a day. That's, I think, revolutionary. So I just have to, I mean, it's writing Python code. You know, I have taken these Python courses and stuff, and it's helped me speed up my learning. I mean, it saves a lot of the searching and digging and frustration, and you can actually just read explanations and then rewrite the problem 3-4 times, or rewrite the code 3-4 times until you understand it, instead of digging and searching and, you know, getting stuck and frustrated. So it's speeding up, and then you can focus more on, like, how is it designed. But anyway, so yeah, I don't want to get off on this sidetrack, but this fantasy, this Eastern fantasy of the multipolar world, the world was multipolar. It wasn't that great, and they fell behind. So I mean, since gunpowder, you know, since their gunpowder secrets leaked out to the West, they were behind for a long time. Now they have this, you know, young generation, and they're building and everything. But we were told this about the Soviet Union, that, oh, they're going to take over and take over. We were told this about Japan, and it was all hype. You know, they have serious demographic issues. They don't have this, you know, freedom of the mind and everything, like, you know, right to fail or ability to fail and recover. A lot of societies don't have that. That's something uniquely American, and probably you're seeing more now promoted, these values promoted in the West, Western Europe. Even Western Europe was a bit pedantic for a while, but it's getting to be more like it's okay to switch jobs, and it's okay to go outside of your realm, and okay to make mistakes, learn from them. So they will miss out on a lot. So yeah, that's just reflections from all the times. Happiest day of my life was day before yesterday, you know, on Sunday. You know, we went there, and it's been really good. And, you know, maybe I'll give you guys some tips on, you know, how to have success here in Ukraine. But I can just tell you the short story is, if you want to meet a nice Ukrainian girl or whatever, for some of you guys wondering about this, you got to fix yourself. You've got to like quit drinking, quit smoking, get fit, you know, have a positive outlook on life. I mean, I see a lot of American guys coming here, you know, dressed up in flannel shirts and sneakers and cargo pants, and, you know, their bellies are hanging out, and they think, you know, the thing is, yeah, Ukraine has a shortage of dudes, but the problem is Ukraine is right next door to Turkey, and Turkey has a surplus of dudes with game, who are really, you know, who can really dance circles around most people when it comes to pickup and game and all this. So yeah, just be careful with that little myth that you hear. You know, it's like, yeah, you got to look at the countries that are next to Ukraine, you know, and everything kind of balances out. It always has been. But it's a really wondrous country here and everything. I really like being here. You know, and I would, you know, hate to have to be anywhere else, to be honest with you. I mean, even when I was in Dubai or America, you know, even in Norway, I'm always like wanting to come back here. It's just, I don't know, something, it just bites you, and then it just becomes part of you. I don't know, you know, so anyway, take care, have a good day.